I'm super tired, guys. But I've been wanting to do this video since I seen Boogies, so let's do this. Bitches gon' what up? What's up, guys? Sorty Morrow here. As you can see from the title, I'm gonna talk to you guys about the 7 most influential games in my life. Boogie2988 covered this topic about a month ago, and I just recently watched the video the other day, and it really got me to think about the games that influenced me most as a child and to this day. And the first one that we're going to start off with is Super Mario Brothers 3. I went over to my aunt's house probably when I was about 4 years old, I would say, and she had the original NES in her living room, and I just remember sitting down, popping in the big old fat cartridge, and just falling in love with it. The first game I ever remember, from my knowledge, ever touching was Super Mario Brothers 3. I can't really remember too much about it, because I was 4 years old, and those memories have faded by now, but I just remember that was my first real experience with video games, and ever since then I've never stopped. After that, it'd probably have to be Yoshi's Island. I believe that's the name of the game, and it was on the Super Nintendo. And I remember the one time that I've ever been into a Toys R Us as a kid, going back to the video games, and they had the demo system set up, and I just happened to pick up the controller, and the demo they had on there was Yoshi's Island, and I remember telling my mom that's what I wanted, and lo and behold, it was either a birthday or a Christmas, she got me the Super Nintendo and Yoshi's Island. I just remember playing that for days, and it was the only game I really ever had for that system was Yoshi's Island. And I just remember I beat it one time, and after I put it down, after getting a Nintendo 64 and a PlayStation, I went back to it maybe a year or two later, and I remember I got to the second boss. There was 3 main chapters. I don't know how to explain it, but there was the second big part of the game, the big boss at the end of that part was this giant potted plant, and I just remember not being able to get past it and not being able to figure out how, when I was little, I could have ever gotten past it. So that was really the last time I ever played it, but I did beat it at one point as a young kid, but when I went back to it, I could not figure it out. The third game I'd have to say is WWF No Mercy. I just remember in the summer of probably 2001, I got the game for my Nintendo 64, fell in love with it. Me and my friend, my best friend at the time, and his older brother were big die-hard WWF fans, and I remember taking the cartridge over to their house because they had a Nintendo 64 too, and I remember I left it there for probably the entire summer. I didn't even take it home because I was over there every day. We were playing it, unlocking characters, unlocking all the little items you could get, and I just remember leaving it over there. I'd go home at night. I had plenty of games at my house, so I didn't really miss it that much, but every day I was back over there in the morning. So I would be there. I was there. I pretty much lived at his house that summer. So I left the game there, and every time I went back, they always had new things unlocked, and I don't know what it was about Nintendo 64 cartridges, but it saved. I'm pretty sure it saved all the data to the cartridge and not a memory card, because when I did finally take it home, everything was still there. So I mean, we had a hell of a summer just playing that and doing wrestling out in his backyard. But yeah, best wrestling game that they ever made, WWF No Mercy on the 64. Probably the fourth game that would be most influential to me was Madden 2002. I played it on PS2, but it was the PlayStation 1 disc, so it was like backwards compatible version of it. And I mean, I had the PlayStation 2, it was on PlayStation 2, but I had the PS1 version of it, and that's because I was at Walmart and I remember asking my sister for it, and she wasn't willing to spend the money to buy the PS2 version of it, but since the PS1 version was cheaper, she got that one. And the reason it was very influential on me was because that game is pretty much what got me into football. I learned a lot of things about football from that. I'm a die-hard Bengals fan now, just in case you didn't know that. I actually got a shirt on underneath my work shirt right now. It's a Bengals shirt. Yeah, so I learned pretty much everything that I learned the basics of football and fell in love with it. I just remember playing that game nonstop for a good solid month, and then after that I've been watching it ever since. The fifth most influential game of my life is Gears of War on the Xbox 360. Now, when I first got my Xbox 360, I don't remember exactly why I wanted it. I just wanted it because it was a new system. And so I got it. I think the first game I had on it was like Dead Rising. It was a cool game. I still like Dead Rising franchise. I play it every time a new game comes out. But I remember seeing on G4, like when Gears of War dropped, how they G4 was the channel, but it was the show X-Play. It's like an old school show. But they gave it a 5 out of 5, and I saw the gameplay that they were showing up, and I was in awe of this game. And I thought, if I ever get an Xbox 360, I want to play it. But it kind of fell off my radar for a while. I got my 360 like the following April of 2007, and I remember I had like Saints Row and Dead Rising, and I went to my family video and I was looking through the games and thinking of something to rent. And I saw Gears of War there, but they didn't have it in, so I waited a couple days, went back, picked it up, took it home, played through the campaign probably 3 or 4 times before I took it back, and then I finally took it back. Kind of fell off my radar again. I mean, I showed my one buddy the game, and he thought it was cool as hell too. So I mean, we really liked it. I really liked it a lot. But once I beat the campaign, I just kind of, forgot about it for a while. And then I decided I wanted to rent it again, so I went back and rented it again, started playing through the campaign a little bit. And it was around this time that I actually signed up for Xbox Live for the first time. Like, I really didn't even know what Xbox Live was. I mean, I had an idea of what it was, but I didn't realize how revolutionary it was at the time. But when I finally signed up, I went online, and that first game I played, realizing that, people were talking to each other, and we were going at it 4v4, I'll never forget that. That was probably the greatest time of my life, was from the time I actually went out and bought the game shortly after that. And that was probably the greatest, year and a half of my life, playing Gears of War 1. But after that, I would have to say the next one on my list is Guitar Hero 3. my buddy had gotten Guitar Hero 2 on the PS2. He came over one night, we played it all night. We got up to about medium difficulty in the career mode, and then after that I kind of, just forgot about it, whatever. And then I think I got it, my mom got it when she got her taxes one year, or the year after, like the following whatever, like the following. My phone just cut off, so as I was saying, it was in roughly around a February-ish time where I got Guitar Hero 2 for my 360, and I played it pretty regularly. I got up to about hard difficulty, maybe even started on expert, but I never got too good at it. But I was still high into Gears of War, so I mean that was on the back burner for me. But when Guitar Hero 3 launched, I played the hell out of it, and everybody kept hyping up Through the Fire and the Flames like it's the hardest song ever in Guitar Hero. So I mean, I booted it up on expert thinking, we'll see how hard this is. And I just remember being dumbfounded at the first notes that came down the screen, like, how would you ever do that? But I looked it up on YouTube, like tips on how to do it, everything, and it took me probably 4 or 5 months. Like I didn't even practice that much in the actual, like, on any other song. Like I ended up beating the game on expert, but I did by no means 5-star every song. So I mean, I went straight into Through the Fire and the Flames, and I just tried to master that one song, and I played it thousands of times, and it took me months. Like, I know some people were already pros by the time Guitar Hero 3 came out, but I definitely wasn't. And it took me months and months. And I even had a, like, little, like, technique that I did to beat it. Like, the first time I beat it, I kind of cheated. I wouldn't call it cheating, because I didn't hack the game or anything, or use a cheat code. When the song slowed down long enough for me to reach over and hit pause, I paused. It was like probably like 4 minutes into it, of like the 7-minute length. I'd reach over and I'd hit pause, and this was right before the really hard part towards the end came in. And I'd pause the game and I would ice my forearm to relax my muscles, and then I would start it back up. And after doing that for a while, I finally beat it. And I think I probably only beat it a few more times after that, like without doing the whole pausing and icing thing. I finally got the hang of it, and I was able to do it. But once I beat that, I really didn't have much of a concern to play that game anymore. I did play, the Rock Bands and the Guitar Heroes after that pretty regularly, but Guitar Hero 3 definitely stands out as the front runner for me as far as music games. But the last game that I really fell in love with was Destiny, and I picked it up on day one. I think it was September 9th, 2014. Seems like a long time ago, but it's less than 3 years ago. Yeah, less than 3 years ago. Me and my buddies got it from work, and we all got to around like level 28, just grinding out, strikes and all that good stuff. The old-fashioned hard way of just grinding for days. And we tried the Vault of Glass with like 4 people, but we could never get into the door. So we kind of gave up on the game because we didn't know how to find anybody or get other people into the party. Like we tried going to the tower and just inviting randoms that we seen that were level 28, 29, and 30 to try to play with us, and we could never get anybody. So we kind of fell off the game for a while. Then when the Dark Below came out, we got back on it, grinded out, got to like level 30. And this was around the time we started up me and my buddies started up our Twitch channel that we did together, which is 112 Gaming, if you guys didn't know. But so I was streaming it one day, and I'm just like, screw it, we're gonna do this by ourselves if we have to. And so it was just me and my one buddy. We jumped in, started running the throw hall, had no idea what the hell we were doing. And luckily, we had a couple people come in to watch the stream that were willing to come in and help us. So we went through, they got us through it, we beat it, and the rest is history. I mean, we basically ran the raid every week, well, Crota's End every week until the House of Wolves dropped. We played that for a few weeks. That got boring real quick. That expansion was terrible, and kind of fell off of it until the Taken King came out. I played that a little bit, got kind of bored of it. It got kind of repetitive, but I can say that I put like 1,000 hours just into the Dark Below, but I didn't put nearly as many hours into any of the other expansions. I'm currently working on Rise of Iron. I just got Rise of Iron, so I mean, well, I bought it when it came out, but I didn't really play it, so just got back onto it when Age of Triumph came out, so I'm grinding that out right now. That and Xenoverse 2, so, but yeah, those are the 7 games that influenced my life the most. And I am so tired. I'm chilling at work. Supposed to be guarding the door, but we're not doing that right now. See how fucking bloodshot my eyes are? Had to do something to keep myself awake. Just sitting in that chair was a killer. But yeah, I'll probably upload this today, which is Sunday when I wake up, and probably see you guys live on stream on Monday, which will be like the 9th or some shit. So yeah, I'm gonna go do stuff, or try to do stuff. See y'all later.